Okay, so we continue analyzing. This time we'll see a game between Simon Webb against Hartson, and we'll see white opens the game with knight to f3. We play knight to f6, and he plays d4. Here black plays c5. This is a flexible move. Of course, we can also play e6, maybe d5, trying to play a queen's gambit, maybe e6. When black plays c5, he's trying to play the Benoni or maybe the Benko. I mean, if he goes d5, we can consider playing a Benko gambit with b5, maybe e6. Here we have the Benoni. However, white stops these ideas and he plays c4. What we have here is the English. We take on d4, knight takes, and here black decides to play b6. What we are going to see here is the Hedgehog Variation. It's a pawn structure actually where black plays like a Sicilian. He places the pawns on e6, d6, b6 and a6. In the meantime, white, he'll try building up a strong center here by playing f3 and e4. And what we have here is the famous Marazzi Bind. So we keep on developing here with d6. He plays e4, and we play e6. With this center, we can tell that one day we should try playing a6 and b5, or maybe the freeing move for us should be d5. Of course, before playing something like this, we have to finish our development. So he plays bishop to e2. We play bishop to e7. So far, natural moves by both sides. Bishop to e3, and then knight b to d7. We can't play d5 yet. Would be risky. I think he can take this way. Once we take back, he can consider playing e5. And the problem is our d5 pawn is isolated, not to mention he is blocking it, and he's getting a lot of space on the king side. So instead of playing this, we can delay d5. First of all, we control the e5 square, and maybe d5 is a possibility later. White plays queen to d2. He's about to play rook d1 too, maybe. We have to also consider a move like this. This happens in Sicilian too, where we have to be careful about the d6 pawn. However, in this position, I think we can play queen b8. This is defending d6, and then we play a6 later. So queen d2. The other good move here would be queen e1, in my opinion. The queen is ready to come to the king side, and we also prepare rook d1. In fact, here he's placing the rook on the same file as the queen. So, okay, queen to d2, then we have to play a6, therefore we stop. knight to b5, and then rook fd1. It's key, right, to choose the right rook. We could also play rook ad1, but I think rook fd1 is better. The rook on the f file wasn't doing much. On the other hand, the rook on a1, we can try playing rook c1, or maybe in some variations we can try playing a4, a5 too, creating some weaknesses on the queen side. So rook fd1, queen to c7, and then he plays rook ac1. We are about to finish our development in a single move, maybe by playing rook f to d8 or rook f e8. But apart from moves, we have to talk about plans here. We can see that we are lacking space as black, and in order to fix this, we have to trade pieces off. Remember this concept: when you have more space, as white here, you have to keep pieces on board. On the other hand, if you're lacking space, you have to trade. Here we have every single piece on board, and we would love playing something like b5 or d5. So let's see how black plays this. White plays bishop f1. Well, with so many pieces on board, this is a game of maneuvers. I guess he's trying to play something like this maybe. And then queen b8. I really like this plan. You'll see this maneuver in a lot of games. We are trying to play bishop d8 and bishop c7. From c7, our bishop is guarding b6, and we are also attacking on the king side. And why not? We are also defending d6. So after queen b8, this couldn't be much better. Queen f2, then rook f e8. Of course, if we want to play bishop d8, there's no point in playing rook to d8. We have this square available for our bishop, and think about it. If we want to punish his center, the rook on e8 is a good idea, because one day that bishop on e3 might be under attack. So rook to e8, then he plays king h1, and here comes probably the first surprise in this game. Black decides to play bishop f8. I would also consider playing this, which is the main idea in this position. I know as white he can also try something like this, and then he plays bishop e1. This looks passive, although when white plays this, everything is well protected. Well, now I look at queen e1. I think it's not good, because we have the rook there. I mean, one day we can play d5, and if we open that position, we might have some tactics here. Well, bishop f8 is a solid move too. It's unexpected, because we expect bishop d8, but let us see. He plays knight to c2. He's got a threat here on b6, and I think here black makes the big decision. I think this position is key. He plays knight to e5. This move is letting b6 go. We have moves to defend b6, like queen c7. although this is passive. Well, queen a7, we are not considering this, of course. We are just pinning the basic pawn, and maybe we can consider playing bishop a8 or bishop c6. Maybe. Although this looks passive too. If we play knight to e5, we are offering a side pawn, which is the basic pawn, and we are getting a center pawn, which is the c4 pawn. Usually we prefer center pawns, so I like this move. And white decides to take on b6. If he plays b3, we can see that this knight on c3 is already hanging, is not protected. Therefore, we can play something like b5, and he can't take in view of rook takes c3. So I think here when we play b5, we are free in our position already. We'll probably get an isolated on c4. Well, he can't even play knight to a3. We have b4 here. So, yeah, he can't play f4 either. We have knight to e4, and then we get the bishop pair. Once that position gets open, our bishop pair is it's just too powerful. So, well, he plays bishop takes b6. I believe he can also try playing knight to a3, therefore stopping b5, and he's also guarding the c4 pawn. I believe this move is better. However, we have moves to consider here. We can already fire in the center with a move like this. We have a strong development. We said this rook on e8 was useful. Well, we have another threat here too, but let me just show you an example here. For instance, something like this. Suddenly we have a strong attack. And of course here we are getting the pawn and the piece back. So white has to be careful about d5 and b5. So okay, here bishop takes b6, knight takes c4, bishop takes, rook takes. So that position has some changes now. We can already see white's center is not strong anymore. We'll have the chance of playing d5 sooner or later. And most important in this position is we got the bishop pair. That means we have to open that position as much as we can. On the other hand, white has a solid position. So, I mean, it's not easy yet. Knight to e3, we play rook c6. It's important to win a tempo here. Therefore, I like this move. Bishop to a5. And once more, we have the key moment here. Bishop a5, that bishop there, I feel it's out of play. We can see he wants to play bishop b4, and then he'll put some pressure on d6. Maybe here, I mean, if I had this position, I would consider this. I don't think he wants to repeat positions. If he plays bishop b4, I like this attacking concept. Remember, we can use the rook be at the 3rd or 4th rank in order to attack. And of course, my idea here is playing something like d5. Then I have a mate on h2. So Rook c5 is worth considering. However, black plays a better move. I really like d5 because we are just following the concept. Bishop pair, let's open that position, even if we sacrifice a pawn. Although here I don't think he can win the pawn. He plays knight to f5. If knight takes d5, we can just play knight takes. If knight takes, rook takes c1, and then after rook takes, we just win the knight. And if rook takes d5, we can just play rook takes c3, followed by bishop takes d5. So in these variations, we are winning a piece. Therefore, he tries knight to f5. This looks like an aggressive move, although I think he wants to play knight d4, and then he's blocking our d5 pawn. That is why, once more, I really like this move. Think about it. If he gets his knight d4, then our bishop on b7, it's such a bad bishop. We are lacking diagonals. We don't have any good squares. If we play d4, okay, we are down the pawn, but after this, there's no chance he closes that diagonal, and our bishop is just too powerful. So, yeah, I like d4. He plays knight takes. Well, if he plays rook takes, I have two variations. Bishop c5 feels like winning. I also see rook to c5, because here this bishop is hanging, so is the knight on f5. Well, the same goes after queen e5. It's like suddenly all his pieces are hanging here. So he has to take with the knight, and then we take the chance of bringing the rook via the 4th rank or 5th rank, as we suggested before. Only difference here is we have a powerful bishop attacking his king. So bishop to b6, we play rook to h5. We have a mating threat. Of course, if bishop b4, we also play this, and here we have the mate plus bishop takes b4. So he plays bishop to b6, we play rook h5, and then he plays h3. This is the only move. If e4, then we have knight takes, and as you can see that f3 pawn is under a pin. So h3, and feels like white has a solid position on the king side. However, we have this diagonal, we have this file. I mean, we should have something. Therefore, we play a knight to e4, and he takes. Of course, he can't take with the h pawn. As you can see, he is under a pin. If he plays queen e1, then we can play queen to e3, and I don't see any way he can stop rook takes h3, and we are mating him. For instance, let us say knight to e2, rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes, and we continue with queen takes h2. This is an easy win. And what else? Yeah, if f takes, which is what he played, then we play rook takes h3. We are opening this diagonal successfully. King e1, queen h2, and then rook to e3. simple. We are down the piece, but our attack, it's just too powerful. We had a tempting variation here too, which is queen h1, queen e1, and bishop takes. Problem is, he plays king f2, and believe it or not, we don't have any good check. We can't continue on our attack, and if he trades queens off, then our attack is over. So rook e3 is better. He plays rook to c2, and then we just start collecting pawns. That is a good idea. When you're down the piece, take some pawns, and worst scenario, you'll have some compensation. Queen e1 is what he plays. Well, makes sense. If he trades queens, then he'll have better position. Of course, we are not interested in trading. And here, apart from the threats on the king side, we are also targeting this bishop. Knight to f5, queen f6. Well, that bishop was being protected, and then rook to f2. Queen f2 is not working. Then rook c2 is not defending anymore. So rook to f2, and here we can just take that bishop. Once we take this bishop, well, we have to check maybe he has some discovered move, although I don't see the move here. I mean, that bishop is a free bishop. We get our piece back, and then the difference is made by our bishop pair and his open king. I don't see any other move for white here. I mean, to protect this knight on f5. And as we pointed out, if queen f2, then bishop takes e2 should be winning. So after rook f2, queen takes b6. We'll see white keeps trying for a couple of moves, but I don't think he has a chance. Here we also add bishop a6. Well, here we see a slight mistake by black when he plays rook e6. This move was absolutely winning. Only move is rook takes and then rook f4, and then he's losing. He can't even move the king. This makes sense. We have these possibilities when we have the bishop pair. So rook e6, then he continues on for a couple of moves, although here he's losing another piece. Therefore, he resigns. In this position, even if he plays something else, I believe he's losing in the long run. I forgot to say that apart from bishop pair and his bad king, we also have an extra pawn. So that means that if we trade everything off, we are also winning. So, well, after knight d5, this is easier. So, well, I hope this game was useful. I really like this system as black to play against the Marazzi Bind, because, yeah, when white plays the Marazzi, he has much more space. It's not easy to deal with. So I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Thank you. This is Grandmaster Damian Lemos here for onlinechesslessons.net. First of all, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to receive more free chess videos from us, you can just click the subscribe button below. I would also highly recommend signing up for my free mail course. the 10 Grandmaster Secrets to Dominate Chess. During this exclusive course from onlinechesslessons.net, I'll share with you my own Grandmaster shortcuts to effective attacking, defending, and growth hacks to improving your chess without complicated books or memorization. So sign up by clicking the sidebar on the right, and I know you won't be disappointed. Once more, this is Damian for onlinechesslessons.net, and I'll see you in my videos. Thank you.